ChadArmesTV, man, we are back with another interview, and this is one that I've been excited about doing, man. We got my buddy Adam Calhoun back again, and we just had him on the pod with him and Justin Time. Shout out to y'all for that.
That was random.
It was, dude. It was. You was in town shooting videos for the new album, Second Rodeo, which is out now.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about, and this was just a matter of time. You've had a lot that's happened, a lot of great stuff that's happened since almost 2 years ago when we did the last one. So,
yeah.
You got a son,
LC.
LC. Gray's getting older. Taman has grown. Like, fatherhood is in full effect.
Yeah, man.
Adam, man.
Yeah.
You want to speak about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, it's my house is filled with life and light, and that it's really cool because that was how I grew up. Our house was filled with me and my brothers and my sister. It was rowdy, and I was used to commotion, and like I was only able to fall asleep with, like, I slept next to the washer and dryer downstairs, and and I could only sleep with that dryer on because it was on all the time. My mom was constantly doing laundry, all of our laundry and shit. Yeah. So now my house now is filled with commotion and loudness and lightness and brightness, and Margie's kind of like, oh, and I'm like, this is normal. This is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Taman's 24, still at the house, which is fine. At 24, I was catching cases and shit like that. So he's doing a lot better than I did at that age. Gray is 2.5, and she basically runs the house.
She's definitely a boss for sure.
She's a communist, I think. I'm not pretty sure. Or dictator or some shit.
Oh, dude. She was tripping me out, man.
Yeah, and then LC, he's 3 weeks old. His name is LC after my grandfather, Leonard Calhoun, and his middle name's William. After every man in Margie's family, they're all a first or middle name is William. So his name's LC William Calhoun.
Yeah.
And then, I had Gray and Taman 22 years apart. I don't suggest that.
Right.
Don't.
Starting over.
Yeah, I did. I started over, but I'm glad I did because it brought peacefulness into my life, and yeah.
You got a different shine about you, bro. You know what I mean? Which is it's a good thing. You can tell that you're not that you was ever in a bad place, but you can just tell that with Gray and with LC, like, you being able to start over with as far as fatherhood, like, you can tell it's brought you a new light almost.
I used to not give a fuck, and I literally did not give a fuck, and now I do, and I think I'm actually more like, it's better for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, not giving a fuck's easy, you know what I mean?
Right.
It came natural. Yeah. Giving a fuck takes some effort.
No,
so,
100%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to see it, man. And since the last interview, so when we shot the last one, you were getting ready to drop Country Rap Tunes, your final solo rap album. Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. So we can talk about that. Like, do you want to speak about the album itself? Like, I thought it was a really dope project. I liked the whole aspect of what you were doing with that for the genre. Do you want to speak about the Country Rap Tunes album now that it's been out for a couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, so the whole thing with that album was just to pay homage to the guys that came before me in this subgenre that we call country rap, and that's why on the album is like Colt Ford.
Get well, Colt, man.
Yeah. Thank God it's not rest in peace, Colt.
No, for
I'm
sure,
so happy
man.
that he's still here with all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the album it's like, Colt Ford, Broadnax, Demon, Church, Struggle, The Lax, Jelly, yeah.
Justin, Dusty, yep.
Yeah, Justin,
all-star
Dusty,
cast, bro.
So I put, songs I might not have ever done with anybody. I thought it was important to shine more light on the genre,
Yeah.
Some of these guys had real big runs, and kind of, you know, you don't maybe hear as much of them anymore because they're not like social media type guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these guys still are on the road and touring and doing thousands of tickets, you know, every night.
Sure.
So it's like, it's awesome. And yeah, and like even the cover of that album, you know, being around John and stuff, you know how he feels about Pimp C.
Oh yeah,
And
it's my favorite too, bro.
Pimp C's the one that said, you know, country rap tunes. You know, he coined that phrase, and he has artwork that was the same artwork that I used on the cover of Country Rap Tunes. So it's just to pay homage, and you know, there's a lot of dope songs on that record, and I always think it's cool to work with other artists. I think the people want to see their favorite artists work with their favorite artists, you know what I mean?
100%.
And everyone's got their own favorite artists.
100%.
So I've always been an advocate of like working together and making these things happen. And I don't know how many people have done that. Like, it's hard to get all those guys.
Oh man, it was an all-star cast for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of it. I'm glad that I did it. And yeah, you know.
And I remember when the rollout for that was really dope too, because you was dropping a lot of music videos for those.
Yeah.
For those as well. And I love that album, man. It's one of my favorite albums of yours. I think, just from the standpoint, I think of what you're saying, as far as the genre, like trying to get everybody, all the heavy hitters from the genre all together. And I thought it was done really well, bro. And what I want to talk about now, like less than almost a year later, you do The Brave 2 with Tom, right?
Yeah.
When y'all recorded the first one, did y'all was the second one even a discussion? Or
No.
So that was y'all just revisited that.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to speak about how the Brave 2 came about? Was it just you want to do it again type thing?
I think it was just, because it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, let's do this album and then we'll never talk again or anything like that. Like we speak often. And how long after those albums are, what, a year apart or something like that?
Yeah, so you dropped
2022 was
you dropped Country Rap Tunes October 7th, 22, and then the Brave 2 was
in
September.
2022 also.
The Brave 2
No, Brave 1
Yeah, Brave 1 was, yeah.
in 2022.
Yep. You did both of those in 2022. Yeah, the Brave you and Tom dropped the Brave in March of that year.
And then the Brave 2 came out in 23.
September of 23.
So yeah, it was like, I think it's just us talking on the phone and just whatever, just being friends, and let's do another one. And it was like, okay, but if we do another one, we gotta really we gotta be around each other and you know, kind of live with each other and like really put together something special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and was that easier the second go around? Because I know the first go around we talked about it the last time, and you had the pandemic was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So the second go round, was it a little easier? Because
I mean, I don't give a shit about the pandemic. I would have.
Well, I didn't know if it was
I was
giving
out there
y'all trouble.
licking fucking gas pump nozzles.
I just didn't know if it was, if it was harder to move around the first go around out that way, during the pandemic.
No, I mean, I didn't go out there the first one.
Oh, so I don't even know if we spoke about that.
Yeah. No,
so y'all recorded y'all's parts separately, and then she edited them together.
Even the music videos.
That's fire, dude. Okay.
So it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy because there were certain things that were pain in the asses in the first project, and then I thought would be easier the second project, and there was other things that were pain in the ass.
Different
it's just
ones.
never.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so the first hurdle on the first project was that he's all the way across the country.
Yeah.
So we're flying. By flying, I mean just sending verses back and forth to each other, and then the album's all wrapped finally, and then it's like we gotta shoot these music videos, but they have to look like we shot them together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have much rather obviously went out there, but it just didn't work out like that. But on the second one, that was a whole different thing.
Yeah, man. The second one, obviously, the second one, you had American Flags. You had some dope features on there. You had the one with Dax, Black and White, which was a huge record.
Demon was on the record.
Mad Child.
God,
Project Pat on there.
Big
Swayno,
L,
shout out Swayno, dude.
Project Pat. But the second project was really special to me because, like, I was there, you know, for like 2 months.
Do you prefer one over the other, or do you like? I mean, I know you like them both, but do you like one better? Do you like two better because you were more hands-on?
No, I think I like the first one better.
You do like the first one?
Yeah. I like the process of the second one better because I was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you were more hands-on with
it was cool because it wasn't just music we were doing. We were running together, we were lifting together, you know, we were just like basically living with like understanding each other as humans and people and you know, we butt heads and it was real. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, go live with someone for 2 months that you don't know, you don't know like that, right. Like that you've been around for, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it was a lot of different feelings, you know. It was like a lot of laughter. We only bumped heads a couple times, but you know, we had some serious conversations about that shit, you know.
Yeah.
We have a difference of opinions or how we were doing things or whatever.
Which is okay to have that. Which people,
yeah.
You know, nowadays, bro, you know how it goes. Like, some people think you can't disagree with somebody about something, and with anything, not just music, but in general.
I mean, we found common ground and shit like that, but it was, the second project was cooler for me as far as like the process. Yeah. I liked the first album better. The second album, I enjoyed the process, like going for runs and like pushing each other, you know, physically and like seeing what this motherfucker's made out of. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you know, that's what I'm about. Like, I got to see what you're made out of. You know what I'm saying? And that right there told me exactly what type of a person Tom is.
Yeah.
And
do you think Tom is misunderstood?
I mean,
as far as what people that I guess perceptions maybe on the internet similar to you, like, do you think do you think people misunderstand that because
I mean, I think we're all, you know, when you put your life out to the fucking public,
right?
Yeah, I'm misunderstood for sure. But I think what you're saying about Tom is like what people like. You'd have to give me a certain.
I'm saying, like, you knowing, getting to be around him personally.
Yeah, like,
do you feel like, you see what I'm saying? People
it's like this. I'll just put it like this. So, like, any people that don't like me or whatever on the internet, that don't know me, have never met me or never been around me, I get way, way more like love than I ever do hate. You know, but I always focus on like the hate.
Right.
And that's something that I'm learning to just do away with. Yeah. It's real easy. It's like if those people that hate me for whatever reason sat with me and they just come. I wish I could have anyone that hate me just come stay with me.
Yep.
Just come stay with me. Come live with me.
Come get to.
Like, let's do this in shifts.
Yeah.
Like 10 at a time.
Yeah.
And come live with me. Come eat dinner at my table with me and my family.
Which we just did.
Yeah. Come go run with me. Go lift with me. Go just do the things I do every day and just be around me. And I think so many people would have a different opinion on not just me, but like their you know, anyone they see on the internet. And Tom is exactly the same. I didn't know me personally, there's things that, you know, Tom does that I'm just like,
not my thing.
Yeah, but then there's things that Tom does that I'm like, that was badass. That was dope. That was a dope video, dope song.
Yeah.
But the main thing with me going out there, more than creating the music, was creating a better friendship, and then also seeing what he's made out of. Like, I got to. That's why if anyone says anything about Tom that don't know him, I already know. Well, if you met him, you wouldn't think that. Because I didn't know Tom was gonna lift every day. I didn't know Tom was gonna run 5 miles every day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know we were gonna go on hikes and push each other. Like I didn't like. I'm talking up these fucking mountains in California and shit like that. You know, like.
Well, even on the first interview, bro, you spoke about how you had initial like certain like misconceptions about him until y'all spoke, and then y'all argued and talked it out, kind of like what you were saying earlier. So yeah, that makes sense.
He never quit on me, and he pushed me, and I pushed him. So it's like some motherfucker on the internet that don't know someone and they're just talking. That's easy to do on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you ain't saying shit if you ain't saying it to me, or to him, or to whoever the fuck. And that goes for all artists, all social media influencers, content creators, whatever the fuck you want to call us. But that's the internet. That's the beauty of the internet. You can hide behind a screen and say what you want and what you feel. But you know what I noticed too? A lot of those people, they change over the years. Mm-hmm. You might win them over just by songs that they like, or just, you know, just as your views change and maybe they align more with them. Yep. They're like, oh, I like this guy now. It's just like, you know, whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of us are what's the word you use?
Misunderstood, maybe?
I think a lot of us are misunderstood. I think people in general, we misunderstand each other. I think even people on like the left side and the right side, as far as political, if people could just sit down and have conversations with people, like, you know, civilized conversations, you learn a lot more than people. But that doesn't create, you know, controversy or views, so people would rather just fight. And me personally, I'd rather fight in the damn street or the gravel than fucking go back and forth with a motherfucker on the internet. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's crazy too, bro. Because I mean, like before I knew who you were, just all of stuff, seeing like music videos and videos, like I had a perception. I don't want to say it was a bad one, but I had a perception of you just by your content. But me being a content creator, I'm like, well, I want to meet the dude. And then we met at Tailgates and Tallboys. I was like, not that I didn't think you weren't going to be cool, but I was like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, just by the videos and the music, you think somebody may particularly could be a certain way, and it's like, no, bro, like that's just them. That's them venting about stuff. Because as a content creator, I get it.
Listen, man,
you can separate it. You know?
Yeah.
Some people can't.
Sometimes I'm a hard ass. Sometimes I'm a tough guy. I'm not the toughest guy, right? Like. But I'm never gonna run from nothing, and I'll always walk out in that gravel or that street if there's a real problem for a physical altercation. But where I am now in life, like I said, it's getting to the point where I'm like trying to just be, for my family's sake and my kids, and just, you know, life is good, man. Like we have life. Yeah. In this room, in my house. What am I doing? I'm arguing with some fucking knuckleheads on the internet that I've never even met in my life. Like, what do you do? You know, the guy that worked in the plant, me, that old guy would have been like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, I wouldn't have understood what's happening. You know? Right.
It's definitely something that you have to try to like teach yourself out of, like as far as like worrying so much about that, especially negative stuff, you know? And like you were saying, I think you having what you have now, you see that bigger picture to where now it's like, this is way more.
So, look, I'm still gonna fuck up. I'm still gonna be a knucklehead. I'm still gonna be an asshole sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
That's so, and also too, when you were on the podcast the first time, that was, I want to say February of 2023. You had told us that you were working on a country album. Yeah. Right? And you said it was going to be some old school, like, country. But that was like when you planted that seed, it was like a year and some change ago. And now that this is being released, your new album's out, Second Rodeo. Yeah. Full-on country album. Yeah. You spoke about it briefly on the podcast, but like, what are you, speak about that album. Like, I know that, how long of a process was that? Is that something you've been wanting to do this whole time?
Yeah, like years. Well, okay, so first of all, I think so for like the casual supporter of mine that doesn't really follow everything I do, like, or like the casual hater or whatever, like they're like, you can't do country. Like they don't understand that. Like my first album that I did, there's a country song on there called Crossroads. There's no rapping on that song.
Yeah, we was talking about that at dinner, yep.
You know, I think almost on almost every one of my albums, I'm not gonna say there's a country song, but there's definitely some singing of myself on the hook, or a song that's kind of close into that vein, you know, like Ramble On or Clean Money, Crossroads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
or Leonard
Calhoun, yeah.
Calhoun.
So it's something that comes easy to me, is writing those types of songs, and they're funner for me because they make me feel better.
Yeah.
With the rap shit, it's more like just aggressive style.
You gotta kind of get in like not a mean headspace, but you kind of do.
Yeah.
An aggressive headspace.
Yeah, and it's like, that's one side of me, is that I'd like to show people the other side of me, you know, the more vulnerable, like, in thought, you know, side. And this country project has, and that's another thing, I think a lot of people thought when I was gonna drop a country album, it was gonna be like this, like the like pop, like style,
like really
country,
polished bro country,
or like
whatever.
or like really rap, mixed with some country or something.
Yeah.
But I chose the music that I know, and the first country CD that I ever owned, I was 15, and it was David Allan Coe's Greatest Hits. And when I didn't like country music, because the only country music I was hearing was the shit that was on the radio.
Yeah.
And then when my mom's husband, Ed, gave me that CD, he's like, listen to this, tell me what you think. I was like, whoa.
Oh, the country can be like this too?
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is this? And then, you know, it's like, oh, this is like outlaw country. So then I start digging in, you know?
Yeah.
And that was like huge to me. Like super, like I was like, holy
Because it's something new that you found. You're used to probably listening to hip hop or like rock or something.
It was kind of like,
it is kind of hip hop.
Country. It was like that. It was like gangster country type shit. You know what I mean?
It was against the proverbial man.
Yeah.
It was against, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So what I did with this country album was basically, I picked like the hardest thing to do, and that's, in this day and age, I made outlaw country music. Like that's not popular right now. But I don't give a fuck,
right?
Because it sounds cool.
Yeah,
and I like making
doing it.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Well, I'm hyped about it, man. I'm glad that she was able to do that, and it's really dope too, man. Because I'd been hearing from some of our buddies about it, and they were like, "Man, have you heard Adam's country album?" I'm like, "No, man. He's been telling me about it," and they were like, "Bro, it surprised me." You know, in a good way. Like, and everybody was saying, like, I thought it was going to be this way, which is what you was just talking about. Everybody probably perceived it to be.
Okay, so I get a phone call.
Yeah.
From a country artist.
Yeah.
A big country artist.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Big country artist who's been in the game for 15 years.
Yeah.
I sent him the album 2 weeks before it even dropped. I said, listen to it, let me know what you think. He called me back in like 3 minutes. I thought he was gonna call me back like a few days.
Yeah.
And he said, Adam, I gotta be honest with you. I thought what you were just about to send me was gonna just be some bullshit. And then, you know, they say, no offense. Usually when you say no offense, you're about to say something offensive.
Yeah.
But he's like, man, I really didn't know what to think. I really thought you were gonna send me something that I was just gonna be like, damn, man, I wish you would have. And he was just so excited for me. And I knew that was genuine. Like, most of your friends will tell you, like, oh yeah, that shit's dope, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not. Like, you need a guy that's gonna tell you, yo,
you need to work on that some more.
That shit's not it.
It's not it. Yeah.
And he was like, I thought this shit was gonna suck.
Yeah.
This shit is dope.
Yeah.
And I knew he would have told me the truth. That's why I sent it to him. And yeah, I'm happy about it, and it's doing well. And if it wasn't doing well, I'd still be happy about it. That's the only kind of country music that I want to make is what I just did. It was an awesome process.
And when this is being filmed, like you've already got more music videos shot that'll be releasing. some of them will already be out when this drops, but then you'll have like you're releasing how many music videos from the album?
So I wanted to do 7. I know I'm doing 5, and I already have 4 done. I got one more. So I think 5.
So at least half the album. Yeah.
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
5 for sure. Because there's a couple other projects that I got going on. You know what? I'll just say it right now. I have an album coming out with David Allan Coe.
Oh, fire, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nobody knows that well until they watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so is that did it just like is it in the works basically?
It's his part's all done.
Oh, so you just got to go in there and put your stank on it, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's dope, dude.
So
how does that feel? Being able to, the dude that got you into that, now you're going to do a collab project with him. What's that feel like? That's got to be pretty dope.
When you hear the songs, I can't even say.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
It's some of the biggest songs he's done. I don't know if we're going to get any music videos because he's an older guy and he's not a really good people person. I don't know if he really, and I don't know, but hopefully I can go see him and try to get a music video, at least one music video.
Oh, that's fire, man. Well, heck yeah, dude. Well, that's cool. And in the midst of that, dude, in the midst of you promoting the country album, like you were still dropping solo rap songs just because you love rapping. You know what I mean? You dropped the Shook Ones challenge, which went crazy.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a challenge. I just did.
Or the Shook Ones remix.
I just felt like putting out something, and that was the beat I chose. You know what I mean? Like,
just hip hop head, bro. And when I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, he's rapping over my.
I didn't think anyone was gonna give a shit about when I dropped it because it's something that I liked.
Yeah.
But I have 2 songs wrote already and recorded to that Drake diss beat and the Kendrick one.
Oh, fire.
And then I got a whole other song wrote that's just to a regular beat by Coco. Shout out Coco.
Oh, shout out Coco, dude.
So I have 3 songs already recorded and 2 music videos shot of rap shits that I haven't even, that's just sitting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is dope because then you dropped Fight Music.
Yeah.
And We Were Young, which are both really dope tracks as well with visuals. Those visuals will go crazy. I like those both of them, but I like the concept of We Were Young a lot.
I did too, but I fell short somewhere in the song. I did.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so. I just missed the mark with the We Were Young song. The concept was there, but I think I put it together too fast. Fight Music I really like a lot.
Oh yeah,
that was a pretty solid song. I'm glad that I did it, the video and the song and everything like that. I missed a little bit on We Were Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Right. Well, and another thing I wanted to talk to you about too, you did recently, in the past, 2-3 months, you and JamWayne collabed on Ready.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak about JamWayne?
Yeah, so I didn't know who this dude was until I only knew who he was because you did a thing and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And he looked real uncomfortable, like the interviews and shit that you did. But I started watching like the content and everything like that. And then I went and I saw that video that he did that drip, and I was like, this dude knows how to rap. Like he didn't just start rapping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same deal as me. Yeah. I rapped all those years when I was a kid, and then I came back. You know what I'm saying? And like people are like, they don't understand that I rapped my whole life as a kid.
Did you get called an AI when you came back and started rapping?
Oh, like he's a plant and all that weird shit. Dude, that's so weird to me.
If anybody that knew him, bro, he don't even know what that means.
No, people say that other people are writing all my shit. I'm like, all my shit. And I'm like, it's funny because how many other people's shit that I've, verses here and there that I've helped with and wrote, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For other people.
Right.
But when I heard him, I was like, oh no, this dude knows how to. This dude must have rapped somewhere along the line. Like he had to have. And then I seen another video, and then another video,
Yep.
and then I think I commented on one of his videos like,
No
I'm gonna help
problems.
this dude.
Yep.
I will help this guy.
Yep.
Because that's the type of motherfucker I am. Like, same thing back to Tom.
Yep.
I gotta see what you're made out of, right? I seen that this dude was working. He's putting boom, another one, every week. I wasn't really, the only one that really went crazy with the views was that No Problems or what was
Yeah,
it?
probably it's over 5 million.
That
now.
verse, that second verse to me
It's insane, bro.
is one of the best verses I heard of the
Yeah.
year. And I'm not even just,
You messaged me on Instagram.
that second
happened.
verse is so hard.
Yeah, dude.
No,
Yeah.
no Diddy.
Yeah. No doubt.
No,
Yeah.
no Puffy.
No Diddy.
So that second verse is one of the best verses and one of my favorite songs from the past year of music.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got in contact with you and got in contact with him, and then it was just like, let's do a song, and I'm glad that I did it, man, and I hope that he keeps going. I hope he keeps going. You know, that guy was just working, laying, or doing what, like
Brick and
nuclear,
rock,
laying bricks and shit. But he'd go out and do them nuclear
Nuclear power
resets
plants,
and
yep.
stuff. But like, it's cool to see these guys. When we were young, we couldn't get on because we didn't have the internet.
Yep.
You know, you had record labels or whatever.
Yep.
So our dreams didn't come true.
Yep.
And now fast forward 20 years, you see these guys with gray beards or beards, which is, everyone's got a fucking beard.
Yeah, yeah.
You just see these older guys in their 40s that are people are starting to notice on YouTube and music videos. It's like, it makes me happy to see all this music that's being made. And I said this on the podcast, but that Friday when I dropped my first country song,
Yep.
I seen Broadnax drop,
Yep.
Dusty, JamWayne,
Bubba,
Bubba, D-Thrash, like
Yep.
all these people drop. And instead of being like, oh, what the fuck? Tom dropped
Yeah.
on that
God
day.
mode, yep.
Yeah. So like, instead of being like, this is my day, you know, I was like, oh, man, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really
like,
cool.
look at this is like so much music from all these different artists in one day.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I was excited, you know.
It was all dope shit too, man.
Yeah.
Everybody was snapping. It was all different styles. It was cool to see that too, man.
And the thing with like JamWayne, and the thing with people with me, they're always asking me like, Adam, how much for a feature? Like, I've never charged for a feature in my life.
Facts.
Even his one guy was like, yo, let me get your thing for the splits, and I was like, I don't want any of the splits. You guys keep that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't do it for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Which is the same thing you did for me too.
yeah, no, like anyone that knows me that I've
Yeah.
done features with, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a joint album or something like
Right,
that. Like,
right.
I'm not, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, yeah, the feature thing, I gotta, it's kind of like I gotta want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, JamWayne, he's a
national treasure, bro. He
he's
really
a
is.
funny guy with a lot of, and he doesn't even mean to be, I don't think.
No, he doesn't.
He
dude.
just sits there and does this weird, and he'll shoot some weird thing that he says, and you're just like, the fuck did you just say?
Bro.
And he's just I mean, he's a cool dude to be around, and I don't know if he truly knows. I don't think he knows anything about the internet or what's going on.
Bro. He doesn't.
But
That's what I told him. Like, you can see it. Like, whenever me and him and Dusty are talking at y'all's video, or at the video shoot for On a Bitch, I'm talking to him about how you're fixing to hit 100,000 subscribers.
he don't know what the fuck.
And he's
he
like,
don't-
is that good?
Yeah,
Because
he
he just don't. He's like, man, I'm just so glad that anybody likes my stuff.
Yeah.
That everything else is just extra, you know?
Yeah, and he, you know, he calls me or I call him like once a week. Mm-hmm. So we're building that, you know, rapport, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll see him in June. I'm down there noodling with Hannah Barron and her dad. They catching the
dope.
catfish with your fucking hands and shit. Hold on a second.
Hell yeah, get that on.
That's a big bottle, dog.
That's a big boy, yeah.
So I told him about it, and I said you should come with. You know.
That would be epic, bro.
So hopefully he'll be able to come with, and
that'd be cool.
because it's in Alabama.
Yeah, dude. Can you imagine you, Hannah Barron, and JamWayne, dude?
No. the funny thing is,
Like her
imagine
pops
me and
is?
Jam and her dad, Jeff.
Yeah.
The guy's an animal.
Yeah.
Like he's walking around with a broken neck. You
Just
know,
thugging it.
Yeah, he's a
Grabbing
dude's
fish out of the water with his
a
arm.
fucking gangster. He said, I was down there with him. He's like, it started raining when we were fishing. He said it's coming down harder than a cow pissing on a flat rock. And I said, what?
Yeah.
It's raining. Yeah, no shit, Jeff. He goes, now, if it was really raining, I'd say it's coming down harder than a double cow pissing on a flat rock. But my mama wouldn't like it if I said that. Yeah. And I was just like, this dude.
Shout out Jeff.
Yeah,
dude.
Jeff Barron, man.
That's
Gangster.
great. But yeah, shout out Jam, man. I remember the first time I went down there after that first interview, because that was the first interview he's never done, you know.
He's like, were you a cop?
Yeah. He was like, man, I don't really, you know, I'm not used to like recording myself and stuff, but
Yeah.
the interview went really good. And afterwards, I was getting ready to leave, and I mentioned you, or he mentioned you. He said, do you know Adam? I said, oh yeah, Adam's my boy. He was like, man, I'd love, because he's a fan of everybody. Like he loves everybody. He wants to work with whoever, you know. But he mentioned you, like, for sure. But that'd be cool. You know, I really like what dude's got going on and his music and stuff. And it was just cool to see y'all link up, man.
Yeah, no,
the
it was
songs banging.
definitely a good time. He's a good dude.
Yeah. And also too, bro. Aside from music, you're married. The wedding's happened
Who would
since
ever
then.
thought? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So, and you spoke about Margie in the first one, but y'all been together for how long?
10 years.
10 years, yeah. And you were saying that she has been there through.
I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I was working at the. So when she was first with me, I was in my brother's basement.
Yep.
My brother Danny, me and Taman shared this little tiny space in the basement. At first we shared the same floor, then we shared the same bed, and I was finally able to afford to buy 2 beds.
Yeah.
And she was there for that.
Yeah.
And when I started working in the plant, she was there for that.
Yep.
Every train ride home in the pissing ass rain or the freezing ass snow cold, she'd be there with her. She had this old Buick Regal that she called Grandpa because her grandpa passed and left her this old Buick Regal.
Yeah.
And I would always see her lights. I always knew they were her lights, and it was like, it just felt good to be safe. Like I was home. When I seen her, I knew I was going home. It was gonna be warm, and it was like, that was my spot. Like,
That was like your lighthouse.
comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said.
So I got
yeah.
the lighthouse on my. It's got an
Yeah.
M right there on the bottom.
Yeah, dude. And what's cool too, man, is like, I was gonna ask you, is that, do you think about those times a lot?
Yeah, all the time. I was terrible to her.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of, I would go out and drink. I was a binge drinker, so Friday night I wouldn't even come home. You know.
And it's because I've never, knowing that that's how you used to be, I would have never, because I've
Women,
I've only known
like,
you since like you stopped drinking.
Dude, like I was a complete, just pushed her away all the time. I was still to this day battling with so many things that I haven't addressed throughout my life, you know, from my childhood and even being a young adult and shit. And but yeah, man, I would go out and I would drink, and that was I was one of the funnest guys to be around drinking, because I was just not gonna stop drinking. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I wouldn't come home. Some days I'd pull up into the driveway half unconscious, and the door would fling open, and I'd end up falling asleep like in the car. And I was like a dog that was a dog pound didn't know.
She was coming to get you out of the
pound.
pound.
Man. Like I was getting, arrested in fights and bars, and I remember coming home half my lip hanging off my face. And she was like, you need to go to the hospital, because it was bad. It was like deep, and my lip was like hanging.
Fighting at the bars.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll go tomorrow when I wake up. And I woke up the next day and went, and they stitched me up. Like, she see me burn, 2nd and 3rd degree burns all over my arms when I was shooting that video. Now we're fast forward in the struggle. But like, she see me just concussed from boxing and shit like that, and she like just she'd show up to a bar and wanted me to come home, and I'd run out of that bar down the street to another, like, you know, and there was, you know, that lifestyle. I was just like self-destruct mode, and I lived like that even after I got a name in this, you know, social media and everything. Then I was like, oh yeah. Now this is on. Now, like, you know, now people know who I am.
You was doing
the
drinking, and you had like the popularity.
Yeah,
and
you know,
and
a lot of like, it's hard to say, but like, you know, there's women every turn you make, you know, and constantly I was just like, I can remember we lived in this house actually. This was the big house. Finally made it to the big house.
Yeah.
And I said, that's it, like, leave. And I got her own place. And I wasn't drinking at the time, but I was very mentally ill, and I went bonkers. Like, I mean, anything you guys can think of besides drugs and alcohol, I was just running rampant. Money I was throwing around like everything you can. Like, I was out in the front yard cutting trees down with an axe. I bought all these axes, and I was sharpening them up, and I was just falling trees in my yard. And my brother pulled up one day and was like, "What the fuck are you doing? I've been calling you, no one can get a hold of you." And I was fucked. I was gone. I was lost. I went and tried to check myself into the to like a mental thing, and they wouldn't take me because I wasn't suicidal. I didn't want to kill myself. I just thought I was dying. Like, my soul was gone. You know, like, I was just lost. I had no idea where I was, who I was, where I was going. I just wanted to, you know.
You think it was just a culmination of a lot of stuff? Not dealing, maybe the stuff from your childhood, and do you think a lot of it was when, like, you didn't have Margie either?
I think it was a culmination of my whole life, and then I didn't know how to handle all this, like, popularity and all this shit that was going on, and then I was like, I want to be free. I want to be able to, I want to fuck Instagram bitches. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, that's like the most emptiest shit in the world.
Yeah.
You know, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, guess what? That money don't mean shit. You might as well be broke.
Yeah.
You know? And I just wanted to do, like, I just wanted to be free and do whatever the fuck I wanted. Well, little did I know, being free and doing whatever you wanted is fucking lame.
Yeah.
You're living for yourself.
You had what you wanted. You just didn't know it until
I didn't know. So this is what ended up happening. So I leave to go to fucking who knows where, somewhere in the country on a plane, and Margie came to pick up Shug, a dog that we adopted now 6 years ago.
The black dog.
The black dog.
Oh, yeah.
Shug. Yeah.
Shout out Shug.
Shout out Shug.
Yeah.
Gray calls him Bear.
Yeah.
I come home, I'm out here cutting, I'm talking big trees, dog.
You was a lumberjack.
No, I'm talking, these trees were fucking gigantic trees.
God, you was just,
I have no idea why I chose that. I think it was because I was sweating and getting whatever the fuck out of me. I don't have my phone ever on me at this time because I don't want to talk to fucking no one. So she's calling my phone to drop the dog off, and I'm not answering. She comes halfway up the driveway, and I hear, "I'm not coming up there." And I'm like, "Just fucking come up here, quit being a bitch." And anyone that knows Margie, that's the last word anyone would describe Margie.
Right.
Like, everyone loves, she's like loved by everyone.
Oh yeah, she's great, yeah.
And I was just such a fuck, you know? And she finally drives up right to the edge, and my driveway is, you know, long as fuck. She drives all the way up to the edge where the asphalt starts, and I'm like, just get out of the fucking car, like, bring the dog in, like, just quit. She gets out, and she's just, her face is sunk in, and Margie's got a fat ass, and her ass is, I did that to her. I made her sick.
Yeah.
You know? And I always told her, I'm not having any kids. I'm not getting married. I'm not doing none of that shit. Because in my family, everyone that's gotten married has gotten divorced. Yeah. You know, kids, raising kids, and the kids are with your mom, and then every other weekend with the dad. I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not doing that.
So because you're jaded. You're
Yeah, plus I'm like living for me. I wasn't thinking, what about her though? And when I saw her, first of all, anyone watching this video, men cry. They should cry.
Yeah.
Me, I never cried. And I thought that was being a man. And my son asked me, Dad, why don't you ever cry? And I told him, well, what's there to cry about? And that was my son asking me this. So my son always tries not to cry. Yeah. But then one day I told him, I said, hey, this is recently. I said, hey, I don't cry because there's something wrong with me, you know? And now recently from having my daughter and my son and just, it's okay to cry sometimes. I might go off in the corner and you don't see it, but it's good to have.
The kids knocked that wall down.
Yeah, it's good to come out. Like I was recording that song about my grandfather and I had to step outside of the booth and walk outside, and it was one of those violent cries, like like those ones. And
it's been in there for a minute, bro.
Yeah, and I've been holding it in. So
they don't make them like they used to, right?
Yeah, that one. So I go back to the Margie thing.
Yeah.
She looked emaciated to me. She looked sick. And I fucking did that to this woman, and she doesn't deserve it. She's the greatest woman. I just started crying. I held on to her, I started crying, and she broke down and, you know, is hysterical. And I said, don't leave. This is your home. Never leave again. If I go through this again, I'll fucking leave. I want to get married. Let's have kids. Let's fucking do it all. We did it kind of backwards. We had Gray first.
Yeah, but I mean.
And then we got married in the courthouse.
Yeah.
And then our wedding, we had the big ceremony for everyone in January.
You knew what the end goal was.
Yeah, and we got there. Yeah. And we got there. And
was seeing her, was it like a switch?
Instant.
Yeah.
Instant. It was like she was the most selfless. All she cared about was me, and all she wanted was to be loved. And all I wanted to do was do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And I didn't change because she told me to. Margie never was like, why are you doing this? Why do you act like She was a sponge, and she just absorbed all of the, like, anger that I had in me, you know? And she never, ever, ever gave any kickback. She never asked where I was. She never was jealous or insecure. She never fucking said, get my shit together. She just was there to hold me and hug me and love me as I basically was just throwing a fucking gigantic adult temper tantrum, just drinking and being a crazy fuck.
You were a broken person.
So bad.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And then we had Gray, and then I was like,
yeah, this is
imagine
different.
not having her.
Yeah.
When I think of that, I'm like, you selfish
You were against that, yeah.
Like, I can't imagine
idea.
my life without her.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I don't want to live a life that my daughter isn't in this world.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then, you know, then we got married in the courthouse, and Gray's there.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And she was like a year old or some shit. And then we got, you know, we had the big wedding, and Gray was walking at that time and stuff like that. And another fucking thing fell off of me. Another, you know, weight fell off of me. And then, you know, in the midst of all that too, my son came home from the military.
Yep.
I was kind of lost without him as well.
Yep.
And then we have another son. And it's just like, fuck, thank you, God, like, for getting me here. You know, I'm surprised I'm here, alive and here. And I'm thankful. And I don't even know how this sounds to people who are watching this, but that's my real life. That's all that.
That's real, bro.
And I'm not. This isn't like a. I'm not trying to do anything but tell you guys my life. That's my job, is to tell you my life. And I guess you could take it how you want it, but here we are today.
Bro, I love that you spoke about that like the way you did, man. That's cool, because that really gives people an insight as to who you really are, dog. And regardless if people want to co-sign it or not like it, it's whatever. But like you being unapologetically you and admitting your faults and saying I went through this, but that's as real as it gets to me, bro.
Well, see, people, thank you. People always praise me so much on my son, because everyone that meets him is like, wow, what a good kid, you know?
And awesome.
I think that speaks, your kids speak volumes of what type of parent you are. But like, it took a lot of, because he was broken, because he came from, I've had him since he was 11, but in those 11 years before I had him, I almost signed my rights to his mother, so I didn't have any rights as a father to his mother. And I'm so glad that I didn't do that. Yeah. But when he was a younger kid, 5, 6, 7, I wasn't a part of his life. I was out here chasing a rap dream down, and I was out here, I basically was like, well, hasn't had me in his life this long. What's the point of getting involved?
Was that during the drinking stages?
I mean, I was drinking since forever, in my 20s and 30s, and But like, I was like, at this point in my life, what is the point of being in my son's life? He doesn't even know who the fuck I am, and he's living without me, and I don't even know if he gives a shit about me. So it's kind of like I try to put it out of my mind. Yeah. But I got that phone call one day, and I had nothing, and I had just got home from prison, and she said, "Come and get him. I can't stand him. I can't take care of him no more." And he was broke, because his mom, she struggles with substance, whatever. I went and got him and never looked back. I had nothing, zero. So when I got him, it was like, oh, it's on. Like I gotta bring home. It's all about my kid now. Yeah. His life depends on me, and my son saved my life. And it was it is still a hell of a road, but he turned out to be such a good kid, and I was broke, he was broken, I was broken, we were broke, we had no money.
Y'all fixed each other though.
Yeah, man, but he saved
you, you saved him.
Level-headed now, calm, way more
respectful,
calm and level-headed than me, and I'm learning from him. Now he's teaching, I'm learning from me. But yeah, he'll always shake your hand, look right you dead in the face, and he's a good young man, and I'm very, very proud of him. And for the first time in my life, in my entire life, everyone that lives in that house under that roof, every single person's last name is Calhoun. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that growing up. Yeah. My brother's last names were Dwyer. My mom had whatever last name of her husband. Yeah. Shanley, and then so it's like, it's the first time in my life and that means something to me, Yeah.
It's like you beat the odds, bro. As far as what you were setting in your head, what you grew up knowing.
I was the least likely to, everyone counted me out for dead, like for dead. Like, when I went away, it was it. It was, Adam's a fuck up, he's always gonna be like that. He's never gonna, getting tame and getting my ass in gear and fucking understanding that it's time. Yeah. It's time. Like, it's time. This kid's life depends on you now. Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. I'm gonna pivot for a minute.
Pivot.
Meeting Donald Trump, bro.
Oh, okay.
Talk about that, bro. How'd that come about? Okay. What was that like, meeting the old DT, bro?
Yeah, man. He's a fucking tall fucker. Well, I'm only 5'10", so I guess everyone's taller than me, but...
He may have been 5'11" or 6 foot or something.
Huh?
Is he like 6 foot? How tall is he?
He's like 6'3".
Really?
Dude, he's tall.
Damn. Okay, DT. Yeah. All right.
So first of all, let's just say this. I've been talking about Donald Trump being president since my first viral videos, you know, and everyone's calling me crazy. My whole career, everyone's told me, my whole life, you can't do it, you ain't gonna make it. Then I get making it, and people are telling me you're an idiot. Okay, mother, well, just watch me do my shit. How about that?
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Like I was talking about Donald Trump before like all this like MAGA shit and like all the whatever. Like I was always like this dude.
Yeah.
You know. And listen, I've learned more now about politicians like and the government. It's like. Whatever, but okay, we'll just fast forward to how I met Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I just want to preface it, like I was shouting out that motherfucker before. I don't remember seeing in 2016 people shouting out Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I get a call from my buddy DC Drano. His name's Rogan. He's just like a big guy on like Instagram, and he's a Republican dude. He's like, hey man. Because he knows me from all my previous content. He's like, you want to meet Trump? And I'm like, no, you fucking...
Right. Is this punked?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. He's like, well, he's going to be in Miami, and if you want to meet him, I can set that up for you. And I'm like, because I was supposed to meet him at Mar-a-Lago, and it fell through, so DC found out about it and was like, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, he's got a rally... You're gonna go and you're gonna actually get to meet him. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they send over all this shit. You gotta you gotta give them all your shit. And they vet you and do all that and everything like that. And I brought with my son and Justin Orick, who he runs the clothing.
Shout out Orick.
Justin Orick. He's been with me since the jump, since I started the social media.
He posted a picture the other day.
That was the first. I had like 11,000 followers when he posted that picture.
Yeah, that's dope.
It was like my first viral videos, you know, and so I send these emails back and forth, and I'm like, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So finally, I get the confirmation, and everything. I book everything, go to Miami. I'm sitting there, and it's like time to go, and it's like this crazy ass traffic. We're driving, and everything's like got these big concrete blocks that you can't get through the main street. I'm like, how the fuck? So we pull back and we're like, hey, we're supposed to go meet Trump. They're like, who are you? They get this forklift and move these big ass concrete pillars. Yeah. And we drive right down the main road that they got all these Secret Service cops, everything got blocked off.
Oh, wow.
They usher us right in, like they know I'm coming. And we park. And I get out. I'm standing in the back of the line. This woman comes and grabs me. She knows, she's like, I know who you are, come here. Brings me up to the front of the line, and we do all this stuff. They put the shit up on our wrist, take us right through security, go right to the fucking side stage. Our names are on the chairs, you know? And I'm like, oh, this is really going down.
Yeah.
And then I see all the Secret Service pull up, you know, and all these cars, and I'm like, and it's like an hour goes by, I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna meet him.
Yeah.
I just get to see him. So, okay, cool. It's going to be cool. And then all of a sudden, I hear them say, Adam. And I'm like, looking. They're like, come on. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, Taman, let's go. Justin, let's go. Yeah. So we go, and I'm standing there, and that's like Jorge Masvidal, Roseanne, that pillow guy, or whoever the fuck he is. And like Roger Stone and some other weird fucking people, some kind of decent looking chicks.
Roseanne though.
Yeah, Roseanne. So that funny story about Roseanne is I just went up to her real quick because there was people swarming Roseanne, you know, and I just went up to her, and I was like, hey, I love you so much, and you're gorgeous, and you were like a big part of my childhood. I always watch your show because I don't watch TV, but I loved Roseanne.
That was one of my favorite shows. Yeah.
And she goes, what? Yeah, come here. She's like, and she's like. I was like, man, I wish you were my mom when I was growing up. She's like, no, you wouldn't want me as your mom. I'm a bitch. And I was like,
classic Roseanne.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And all these people kept trying to come up to her, and she kept shooting them off, and me and her just talked for like 15 minutes. And then finally, they're like, all right, everyone, now come into this tent. So we go into the tent, and there's Secret Service. They're like, don't put your hand out to shake his hand. If he wants to shake your hand, he'll put his hand out. Don't touch him. Don't take pictures. Everyone put their phones here. Secret Service guys are standing there. It's fucking like, I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
So then it's my turn, about to go up, and Jorge Masvidal is right in front of me, and he's with his kid, and they call him up and like me up. So like I'm on deck, he goes in, so I can see Donald Trump now, and Jorge Masvidal's taking pictures, hugging him, shaking his hand, doing all that shit, and then they're walking off, and Donald Trump wanted to take pictures with Jorge's kid, and Jorge's kid comes back, and he's like, and he's making all these, and Donald Trump's like just with his arm around him, like looking at him, and like,
I was in WrestleMania one time.
Yeah. So he's like, he's cool with it all, and then they're like, they called me up, and I went up there. And I didn't put my hand out, but he was like, he did the thing with his hand. And Donald Trump likes to grab you and pull your hand in, like for dominance.
Yeah.
Because I saw him do it to Jorge, and I see him do it on the news when he meets like people.
Yeah.
He'll like pull your hand in, and I was like, that's not happening. So
you was prepared.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like I put my hand out to shake it, and I felt it, and I just stood like there and squeezed as fucking hard as I could.
Yeah.
And he's like, strong guy, you're gonna, you know. He's like, he's got his arm around me. He's like patting me on the shoulder. He's like, I know who you are. And, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm talking to him, bullshit with him, and he's like, you want to take this picture? I'm like, yeah. So now he's standing there with his hand like this. And I'm just like looking around, like waiting for someone to tell me to take the picture. And he kind of like nudged me, and he's like, and I was like, oh. And so we're both have our thumbs up in the air, and as we take the picture, like that's how I wanted to take the picture. And then he's like, it's nice meeting you. I was like, bro, you have to win or we're fucked. He goes, I know. Like he did the thing. And I got it. Yeah. And that was it.
That's great, dude.
Yeah.
What a great story, bro.
And then Justin and Taman met him right after I did, and they have a picture together. And I didn't really remember much of that night until I got back to the hotel because it was just so like random and like surreal. Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Talk about the podcast. It is coming.
Yeah, I have no clue how to do it or anything like that. I have a whole entire like floor that I had been renting out for the last 2 years. Redid it all. It's all set up. We got all the gear. I've been supposed to do this already. It's something that I want to do. So next year is when I start. No music will be dropped next year. No tour. No nothing. I'll only be focused on my podcast.
Yeah.
And I have zero fucking clue how to do a podcast, how to run it, how to get the people lined up. But just like everything else that I've done in my life and people have doubted, I'm just gonna figure it out. I've figured all this shit out. I have no management. I have no like PR team. I have the guys that I've had with me since the beginning that all work for my company and shit like that, and that's the guys that I have. You know what I mean? Like, this all shit comes out of my head, and then I make it happen. Dude, but next year, it's on. Like, it's on. Like Mike Tyson on. Like, Mike Tyson's gonna be on the podcast.
Dude, that's,
you know what I mean?
God, that's gonna be epic. This bull riding situation, bro. Do you want to speak about how serious that was and could have been? Or what happened? Was it, were y'all going to do that just because you wanted to go ride bulls, right? Something you always wanted to do?
Well, no, as a young guy, my cousin Tommy and Eric, one's a year older than me, one's 2 years older than me. They rode bulls. Rest in peace to their mother, my Aunt Debbie. She had a giant ranch with horses. I grew up shoveling shit for, $6 an hour for her. Plus I was always in trouble, so my mom sent me over there, and half the time I had to shovel the horse shit for free. So I was around that shit when I was a younger guy, and I always wanted to ride bulls because I thought I was stronger and tougher than my cousin Tommy and Eric. And my cousin Tommy's one of the toughest sons of bitches I know. But they rode bulls. I rode a few. As a young guy, and it was I wasn't built for it yet at that time. But then now I was shooting I did this country album, and I wanted to shoot. I wanted like my artwork and stuff to be. It's called Second Rodeo. And it has nothing, second rodeo has nothing to do with the rodeo.
Yeah.
It's like second rodeo this is like my second, wind in life.
Yep.
This is my second like chance in life with my kids and my family. It's my like second basically career. Like I'm kind of shifting into something else. And also too, it's like I've been around for a minute now.
Yeah.
Like this ain't my first fucking rodeo,
Yeah.
dog. So I thought that would be a really cool name for an album. And I was like, all right, well, shit, if I'm going to call it Second Rodeo, let's go ride some fucking bulls.
Yeah.
And I called my cousin, and he's like, man, my wife's going to kill me. I can't get on one. He's like, I'll go there, and I'll be there and help you and fucking, And he's like, you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. He's like, we're not young anymore, man. Like, he's like, He's like, all right, we're gonna go and I'm gonna make sure everything's good and you're gonna be fine. Fucking, I'm like, man, I ain't even worried. I wasn't even thinking in my head. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna probably get banged up, bruised, and shit like that. It's not gonna be it's not just gonna be a piece of cake. But I wasn't thinking I was gonna have a concussion and lose my memory of that day. So he calls one of his old rodeo buddies that used to ride bulls with him. His name's Kelly, great guy.
Yeah.
We go down there and just let's go. We I get on the fucking barrel and they're fucking just, I'm getting it down, whatever, cool. First, I rode 10 times. I rode 5 different bulls. I rode 10 times. And this is all shit that was told to me. I'm telling you what was told to me.
Yeah.
I do remember this. I remember how I felt that day, and I felt just so calm and happy because I was watching my son and how like he was doing, like he could do the shit.
Yeah.
Like,
he didn't get like hurt or anything.
No,
That day?
I mean he got flipped in a car. I'm gonna make a video on this so you guys can see it. But he got flipped in a cartwheel and off of it. He got rammed into the shit. Like we're getting banged up, but yeah, he was fine. He wore a helmet the whole time.
Yeah.
My first 5 rides, I had a helmet on. Then I was like, all right, I got this. Like I got this now. Like I'm ready to go. And I guess I said I had one more in me, and they brought out this bull called Grandpa. One I had already rode probably twice that day, and I just fell off wrong. Like I slid off like the side.
Yeah.
And when I slid off the side, his feet were up in the air and came down and crushed my ribs, chest, stomach, all that.
God, bro.
And then they're real light-footed, so when they're not on good footing, they're like their feet are.
All of his weight didn't come down on your chest like that, like it.
No,
did?
all his weight came down on my fucking head. So the first time he bucked down, the shit hit me in the chest, side, and then after he was scrambling, he kicked up and I got stitches all up in my neck where he hit me in the neck. And then as I'm rolling, he's getting out, he like bucked out again and smacked me in the top of the fucking head. And like, I got up slow and was like, I'm good, it's good. And they walked me off and I walk outside again. This is all things that are being said to me that I did. And I guess when I was sitting outside, they're talking to me and I'm cracking jokes and busting balls and people are laughing. So they're like, oh, he's good, he's fine.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, I guess, was like, you gotta start taking it easy. You just had a son. And I was like, I have a son? What do you mean? Like, I just had a son.
Oh, bro.
And that's when they knew. They're like, he's out of there. And they called the ambulance. I don't remember being in an ambulance. I don't remember getting to the hospital. I don't remember anything until later that night, like maybe 1 in the morning, when I was like, what happened? And Margie's on the phone, and I'm like, I started coming, like, my memory of, I knew who I was finally. But like, I never lost consciousness. I lost memory. I don't remember that day.
Do you remember Margie and Gray and Taman and everybody?
Yeah, like 1 or
Later.
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
But like that happened at like 4 or 5 p.m.
And you didn't know.
I don't remember any of that fucking day, and I didn't recall anyone, whoever the fuck was anyone in my life until about 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're all right, man. That's scary, bro. Cause them pictures, that could have went a whole different way, dog.
Yeah, no, and it wasn't. That's another thing with Margie. Like, she's like, what do you want to do for your 36th birthday? And I wanted to go skydive, you know, or I'm going down to Alabama. What are you doing? I'm going noodling with Hannah. What the fuck is that? Well, you catch these giant catfish, you stick your hands in their fucking mouth.
Yeah. Here's a video.
It's like, so she's always used to me getting fucked up, you know, but this one, she was mad at me, but she said it was pointless of being mad at me because I didn't even know who she was. You know what I mean? So this
girl's mad.
She's yelling at me on the phone, and I'm like, babe, why are you mad? Like,
she's your rock, and you're just like, I don't
and Taman's like laughing and shit, and I don't know what's going on. You know, this is everyone's telling me that Margie was, you know, she was upset with me, but she was laughing because I was like, was just clueless.
Yeah.
And Taman's laughing at me because this is like the third time he's seen his dad in the hospital with a concussion or something. Like, I just had one 3 years ago in boxing. We were sparring really hard, and I got dropped in practice. And again, I lost my memory of that day. But see, when I used to get concussed back in the day, they didn't know what the fuck concussion protocol and all
like,
that
oh,
was.
you're fine.
Yeah, football, wrestling, and boxing and all that since a kid. But like now, that's twice I lost my memory. That's it. It's it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
No more fuck shit. Like, I have to be careful. Because it does affect me. I know my vision's kind of weird now, and it's been like that for a few years. Sometimes I feel like my speech, I'm trying to correct what I'm saying in my speech, or you'll hear me like stutter a little. And it's not because I'm not sure what I'm saying. It's like I'm trying to slow it down and come out so it's proper. So it's like, I'm getting older. That's it. Yeah. I've had my no more running my head through walls.
Right. So I got two things I'm going to ask you to end off. So one, advice that you would have to artists that are trying to, I know you probably get asked this a lot. What advice would you give an aspiring artist that's just trying to build their brand, just trying to get,
like a rapper?
Yeah.
Consistent.
Yep.
You listen to me. You have to be willing to lose and give up everything. Mm-hmm. Willing. I'm not saying that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay? You have to be, it's easy to say that, oh yeah, I'm willing to do that. No, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be homeless. Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to sleep on people's basement floors, not know where your next meal is coming from. You have to be willing I had to be willing to go into these really uncomfortable situations in neighborhoods that I shouldn't have ever been in to record.
Yeah.
Things change now, and fast forward to this era, you can just record anywhere in the suburbs and be safe. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes, lose everything, your family even. Mm-hmm. I didn't see my son for years.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's right.
Yeah.
Relationships, your girlfriend or whoever, if she doesn't believe in you and you have to be willing to go further than anyone else to where there is no backup plan. Mm-hmm. And on top of that doesn't mean you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
You have almost a 0% chance of getting to where I've got. Mm-hmm. But there's a chance.
Yeah.
And to get there, you have to outwork literally anyone around you. You have to go further. You have to lose more. You have to.
Yeah.
My whole life has been losses.
Yeah.
Tons of them. But them wins have been huge.
Yeah.
Once you do maybe kind of get a little bit of something going, consistent. You have to keep dropping, album after album, song after song, visual after visual.
Yep.
somebody is going to see that you're grinding, that you're doing this, and somebody is going to put their hand out and say, hey man, let me do a song with you. That's bigger than you.
Yep.
Someone's gonna see you. Mm-hmm. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Now, what happens after that, you have to keep, you know, people think they can get a feature from, if they get a feature from me, they're gonna, or you get a feature from Church or Tom, and that's it, you're good. Yeah. No. You might buzz for a fucking month or something.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? One of us show up and do a feature and you go your career? No, hell no. You could do a whole album with me or your favorite artist. That ain't gonna do shit for you. It might do shit for you for a little bit, but after that you have to keep bang, 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 and not stop and not take, you know, no for like you have to. It's so fucking hard, and then when you get there, you're like, yes, I made it. And then you're like, fuck, this sucks.
Yeah.
Because now you got a whole other kind of shit that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And then, after all that, and you're successful, hopefully you didn't lose yourself. Mm-hmm. Or hopefully any parts of yourself that you did lose on the way, you can have enough, you know, mind about you to grab back and fix and make yourself whole again. Because this shit will ruin you, dog.
Yeah.
So my best advice to anyone out there is be willing to sacrifice, lose fucking everything you got to get your dream come true.
Hell yeah, dude.
Not saying that's gonna happen, but mostly that's usually what happens. It's what happened to me, that's what happened to Chuck. Mises.
Yeah, Mises, yeah.
Everyone that I know that chase their dreams, chasing a dream, people think you're crazy and it's not catchable. You can't catch it. Man, motherfucker, you can catch it. Yeah. It's just really, 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 you have closer to a 0% chance of it actually happening. Yeah. You have closer to a 0% chance than a 1% chance of that happening. Yeah. So people give up on their dreams. Fuck that. Let them say what they say and think what they think. They're gonna have to watch you chase your dreams.
Yeah. So last thing, bro. This has been an awesome sit down, man. Who is Adam Calhoun?
I guess it depends who you ask. If you know me, flawed human, big heart, chip on my shoulder, learning how to say I love you, brother, to fucking every single guy that I have respect for. Hard worker, family man, good guy to have on your side if shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Just constant learning and trying to learn who I am myself. Actually, as you asked me that question, I'm still learning who I am. But I would say, just in an easy sense, good guy to have around when shit hits the fan. I have the same friends I've had since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Good friend.
Yeah.
Good father. Fucking hard-headed, knucklehead, fuckhead sometimes, but not afraid to say when I'm wrong or sorry.
Facts.
Loyalty. Loyalty means everything.
Shout out to Adam Calhoun, man. This has been a...
I'll take it.
This has been a dope sit down, man. I'm glad that we was able to touch on a lot of these subjects, and especially the segment about the family, man. I think that was So that's probably the best piece of content me and you've got to be able to do. And I think because it was coming, you being able to tell that, I think that was really dope, man. Everything was dope today, but I think that is going to stand out.
You know, took a long time to get here, and I almost didn't have this family.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture my life. I wouldn't want to be here without these people that without Gray, without LC, without Taman, without Margie, I wouldn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate you, man.
Shout out to Chad Arms.
Hell yeah, bro.
Shout out to Mel.
Hell yeah. I love you, dog.
Love you, brother.
Y'all go get Second Rodeo, man, out now. And we're going to enjoy the rest of the evening, man. But y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel and be sure to stay in tune with Adam. He's got a lot of dope stuff on the way, man. We appreciate you, dog.
Love you, dog.
Yeah.